Hey there, my name's Liam. Welcome to my channel. This is a video about the Loomis Method, about drawing the face. So if you're an artist and you like drawing and you want to learn how to draw well, I'm here to help you. My slogan is helping you be the artist that you want to be. This Loomis Method is a series of guidelines to be able to draw a face in 3 dimensions and be able to construct it from your imagination or to fix up proportions if you're drawing from life. I've been teaching this in local classes here and online for a little while now, a couple of months, and I'm getting more out of it than the students for sure. It's very, very helpful, but at first there's a big learning curve. It takes a while to be able to figure out everything that makes this actually helpful. However, when you get it working, it corrects all of your proportion problems in the beginning of the drawing, rather than, you go and finish a drawing and then you have everything shaded and looking nice, but it's like you've washed a donkey. All you have now is a clean donkey, but it's still a donkey. So I did a video a couple of days ago drawing this guy. It's an angle where you're looking up at him like this. It's like, at an angle like this. It's a really cool angle to draw because everything's turned up. And I just messed it up there. And that's where I realized, I might just want to throw this video out. But I didn't. And I decided to make a tutorial about it just because it's useful. I spent all this time recording a video, might as well use it. All artists struggle to get any kind of mastery. It's not like it comes easy. I don't know one person has come easy to, even in art history, like even Picasso. Mind you, he was 12 years old, but maybe Picasso is the exception. Okay, the Loomis Method is nothing new. It's been around for a long time in different kinds of iterations. You can see how this drawing there's a lot of erasing. This is the final bunch of erasing that I did to try to get the 3D forms done in right. I ended up just correcting it with my eye as opposed to the guidelines, because in the beginning I wasn't able to line up the guidelines properly. I was too focused on other things. Not that I'm making excuses, the Loomis Method's tough. So I'm going to show you what I learned from this, and looking at this video, I can see all of the funny mistakes. So at this point, like I said, I'm just shading it, and so the hard work has been done. Here is the drawing, and I've got some tissue paper over top of it, tracing paper, and I'm going to work from this page right here. So you can see how the head starts as a circle with equal parts from the hairline to the eyebrow, eyebrow to the nose, nose to the chin, and that the head is kind of sloped inward like this. So it's wider at the top than it is at the jawline. And you can see that right here, and especially right here, the way it's kind of scooped in. Nevertheless, it's easier to learn things in terms of 90-degree angles. And I'm going to focus on a couple of guidelines right here. The center line for the head, the center line on the side of the head, the eyebrows, and how the eyebrow line and how that works as you work around a 3D form. And trust me, this is super helpful stuff. So drawing a sphere and understanding a sphere are more or less necessary with the Loomis Method. To really understand 3D forms is very helpful. That is for a different video, because when it comes into really knowing how to draw a sphere and ellipses well in perspective, that's a whole thing, and that takes time. So if you don't know much about technical drawing and perspective and stuff, don't worry about it. It's okay. That'll be for a different video. I will have courses available, by the way. Click subscribe and stay on top of what's happening here. I'm sure there's other videos on YouTube, but my videos have me, so you can learn that stuff right here. Let's talk a little bit about just the construction of the Loomis Method, and I think you're gonna get a lot out of this. So the first thing when you're gonna draw someone's face is you get your sphere worked out. So the top of the sphere is going to be about here, and the bottom of the sphere is going to be somewhere around here because we're looking up. Normally, the center line for the face, if you're looking straight on at the face, is going to be lined up with the bottom of the sphere because we're turned up. The bottom of the sphere is going to be right about here. Ghosted a little bit. Doesn't need to be perfect. It helps the more perfect it is, of course. So we have on this sphere, we have an eyebrow, that runs like so. And then the top of the eyebrow to the top of the ear is the second line, and that's like so, right here. Like that. Now what you would do with this sphere is you would draw an ellipse running, it's basically a contour line, like so. This is the center line. Here's the center line for the face, and here's the eyebrow line. So we turn it up like this. And if you could make this sphere transparent, you would see the back of the contour line cutting through and going around. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to show it to you here. So it runs like this. Like that. And then on the back of the sphere, like so. Okay, so it's got an ellipse. Now, once we've got that center line on the sphere with it turned up, now we have to draw the second center line for the face, and that lines up directly between the eyebrows and the jaw here, and it's a line that connects that, like so. Okay, and the jaw is down here. Now, the next set of guidelines is to divide the face into 4 segments: jaw, nose, eyebrow, and hairline up here. Now, this line is going to continue up, over, like that. So if we were to draw this the same way, it would come behind like that. Like that. Very loose and rough, but it gets the point across. Like that. Now, the side of the head, as I said, is sloped, right? It's wider at the top than it is at the bottom. And here to the top, it would be something like this, coming down. This guy runs like that. Okay. Now, the top of the slice off of the head lines up with the hairline, which is also a contour, running something like this. The nose is the other contour line running up to the bottom of the ear, like this. And behind like that. So there we have our guidelines, our equal spaces. And the jaw will come down from here, from the center of this slice. Now the slice is going to run like so. Like that. It's a very helpful system. So the most important part of the Loomis method is having your 3-dimensional forms kind of worked out and strong. Underneath this guy right here is, this is a Loomis head, by the way. There's a sphere, and then the face plane comes from the eyebrow to the jaw, right? And there's a straight line you can see in the profile. It's pretty much a straight line from the eyebrow to the jaw. And that comes down off of the sphere. As the sphere kind of curves in, the face comes down straight. You start off with a sphere and you put the face onto it. You have to keep in mind that there is perspective being involved, right? Now, there's really no way to get around understanding perspective, is there? So here's how it would work moving around the sphere. And then with the face, you have your hairline, we'll say that the eyebrows are right about here. In this case, there's a bit of an arc, right? Here's the eyebrows. That means this distance is the same as down to the nose right here. But now we're going to draw from the eyebrow line down to the jaw, the center of the jaw right there. And halfway between that will be the nose, right about there. So that's how the Loomis method works. Now with this cutout from the temple, you have a guideline running from the hairline and a guideline running from the nose across, and that's going to be the height of the cutaway in the head. So you would cut away a slice like right here, just whoosh, with a knife. And it's going to be at an angle, roughly like this, turned in. So it's not going to be 90 degrees with the face. You know, in a perfect world it would be, but it actually is tilted in slightly. And so you have this ellipse right here. And so the eyebrows would go like so, and then they would cut across as a straight line there. And here at the bottom of this line is where the jaw comes out. And then the jaw would connect to the chin. The eyebrows come in about here. Nose right about here. You can see a bit of the bottom of the nose, like so. And that's the construction of a Loomis head. The ears are in the lower quadrant of that ellipse. That's the side of the head. And that will square you up. Really nice. The mouth is resting. The bottom lip rests halfway between the nose and the jaw. Like so. There we have it. So again, with the face, it comes off of the sphere. Guideline would come around down to the jaw, right about here. Hairline, eyebrow, nose, jaw. It's really good to get a handle that this is the eyebrow and not the eye. Eyes are in the center of the face once you've established the jaw. Like that. All right. There you have it. There's my first video in a while in my new studio. You're going to get a lot more content like this, especially more towards comics. My Hello Future comic is really starting to take shape. We'll be going into second draft on that shortly. 6 characters and a whole lot of drawing. It's going to be a lot of fun. So if you like comics and you like learning how to draw and paint, I am your guy. Please click subscribe. I will see you next time. Till then, be the artist that you want to be, not what anyone else says. Be yourself. Have a good one. Bye now.